A man is going through one of the most violent years in New York City history while trying to grow his business. Despite being surrounded by corruption, he challenges himself to stay honest. In the opening scene, we meet a businessman named Abel Morales living in New York City in 1981. Early in the morning, Abel goes for a jog, and after that, he prepares for work. His wife, Ana Morales, says goodbye and advises him to make wise decisions for his business. As the owner of an oil heating company, Abel later meets with his lawyer named Andrew. Andrew tells Abel details about a deal with a group of Jews. During their meeting, the head of the group named Mr. Joseph asks Andrew to review the contract carefully. Then Abel signs the paper to purchase a property worth $1.5 million. According to the contract, Abel must make the payment within 30 days or he will lose his money. Moreover, Mr. Joseph warns that he will sell the property to one of his competitors. However, Abel assures Mr. Joseph that he will make the payment before the deadline. After the meeting, Abel's lawyer, Andrew, congratulates him for signing the big contract. Thus Abel remains positive and hopeful. Then the scene transitions to one of Abel's drivers named Julian, who is driving a truck carrying heating oil. On his way, the truck is hijacked by a group of thugs, and they beat Julian badly. Upon hearing the news, Abel hurriedly rushes to the hospital to see Julian. Meanwhile, Abel's wife, Ana, is already there, and she informs him about the whole incident. Ana suggests Abel take help from her mafia family. However, Abel refuses, insisting on doing things the right way. Later in his office, Abel meets Assistant District Attorney Mr. Lawrence, who is investigating Abel's company. Abel tells Lawrence about his truck being robbed and asks him to look into this matter. However, Lawrence tells him that it's a police issue and he has more important things to do. Angrily, Abel says that he is concerned as it's about the security of his workers. Furthermore, he reminds Lawrence, who has been investigating his company for 2 years, to also inquire about his competitors. Meanwhile, Lawrence remains unbothered and tells Abel that his company broke the law, and he has evidence to prove it. Furthermore, Lawrence opens a case against Abel's company. Meanwhile, Abel tells Lawrence that he never did anything wrong and will take it as an opportunity to prove his innocence. In the afternoon, Abel meets his wife Ana, who also works in his company. Abel bought the company from Ana's father, who is a mafia in the area. During their conversation, he tells Ana about the charges against his company. This shocks Ana, and she says that it's not fair as Abel never indulges in corruption. Meanwhile, Abel stays calm and assures her that he will get out of this. In the evening, Abel meets one of his competitors named Mr. Arnold at the barber shop. During their talk, Arnold congratulates Abel on his new contract. Further, he advises Abel to be careful in making decisions in his business. The next day, Abel moves into a new house with his wife and 2 daughters. At night, Abel wakes up after hearing a noise. Suddenly, he sees a shadow and tries to catch the person but fails. Well, maybe Abel's handsomeness scared the shadow away. Anyways, Ana comes and seems annoyed with this. However, Abel tries to calm down his wife and brushes it off by saying it's just a thief. In the morning, Abel visits Julian as he is being discharged from the hospital. Julian insists on continuing to work, but Abel denies it. Further, Abel asks him to take rest until he is fully recovered. Meanwhile, Ana sees her daughter playing with a handgun and rushes to take it from her. Her elder daughter tells Ana that they found the gun while playing in the yard. After a while, Ana goes to the office and tells this to Abel. She warns him that the issue is getting out of hand and says she will handle it. However, Abel persuades her, saying he will look into the matter himself. Not gonna lie, this man knows how to use his puppy eyes to convince his wife. Anyways, Andrew enters the room and informs Abel that Lawrence will come with charges tomorrow. Furthermore, he warns Abel that they will be charged with rigging scales and underreporting income. According to Andrew, Lawrence will check the company data from when Abel bought it from Ana's father. Therefore, Abel must prepare himself. Over time, the cases of hijackers beating and stealing fuel from the trucks increase. Meanwhile, a Teamsters boss named Bill suggests to Abel's driver to carry guns with fake permits. However, Abel refuses, stating that it will negatively affect his company's reputation. Later, Bill informs Andrew that Abel is not listening to his suggestions. Despite this, Bill decides to give handguns to workers by Friday because he believes their safety is of utmost importance. Meanwhile, Andrew assures Bill that he will try to convince Abel. In the meantime, Abel goes to meet one of his competitors named Peter. There, Abel shares about someone invading his house with a gun and questions Peter about any involvement in the drama. Peter denies any wrongdoing, claiming he would never do such a thing. On the other hand, another truck is hijacked, leaving Abel extremely worried. Moreover, Andrew tells Abel that if this continues, his company will face serious financial issues. Upon hearing this, Abel stresses the importance of securing the deal he previously signed with the Jews, no matter what obstacles come their way. Then Andrew reminds Abel about his meeting with bank representatives to secure a loan. At night, Abel and Anna arrive at the hotel to have dinner with bank representatives in hopes of securing a loan. During their conversation, Abel does his best to convince them. One of the representatives asks Abel why he wants the property so badly. In response, Abel explains that acquiring the property across the river will give him more storage capacity for oil. This way, he can buy oil at lower prices and sell it at higher prices when demand is high. The bank president agrees and decides to approve the loan for Abel within a week. After returning home, Abel discovers that Anna has a gun. This makes Abel angry, and they start arguing. However, Anna tells him that if he is so concerned, he must take action to protect their family. The following day, Abel and Anna celebrate their daughter's birthday. Meanwhile, Lawrence arrives with a warrant to search their house. Anna gets angry upon seeing him. She requests Lawrence to give them some time because the birthday party is in progress. Lawrence agrees, and Anna takes advantage of the situation to hide some boxes before the search. After a while, Lawrence's team doesn't find anything, and Anna reminds him that her husband is an honest man. Lawrence responds that he knew Anna's father for years. This irritates Anna, and she tells Lawrence that Abel is different from his father and that he shouldn't mess with him. The next morning, Julian returns to work, and he seems nervous. However, Abel boosts his morale and encourages him to start positively. On his way, Julian is once again chased by a group of hijackers. This time, Julian confronts them with his gun. However, the police arrive at the scene, and the hijackers manage to escape. Since Julian is carrying an illegal gun, he gets scared and runs away. When Abel finds out about this, he goes to Lawrence. There, he explains that he has nothing to do with the handgun Julian had. However, Lawrence asks Abel to find Julian, otherwise, he will get into trouble. Then Abel meets the bank president, who tells him that they won't give him a loan. This makes Abel sad, and he says that he has always paid his previous loans on time. However, the bank president says the situation is different now, as Abel's company has 16 charges of misconduct. Moreover, he points out that Abel's company workers have illegal guns. This situation leaves Abel extremely helpless. After reaching home, Abel tells Anna that the bank has refused to give them a loan, and they need to arrange money within the next 2 days. Afterwards, Abel goes to Julian's apartment to find him. However, Julian's wife lies and says that he is not home. Meanwhile, Julian runs out from the back door, and Abel sees him. However, the police succeed in catching him. Later, Andrew asks Julian about the gun, and Julian says he threw it in the river. Then Andrew informs Julian that he has been fired, and because of him, the bank refuses to give a loan to Abel. Feeling extremely guilty, Julian apologizes to Abel. However, he tells Abel that he is not strong enough to face the charges and escape again. Later, Abel meets with Mr. Joseph again, requesting him to give him some more time. Eventually, Mr. Joseph agrees and gives Abel 3 more days. Later, Abel meets one of his competitors named Saul, to request a loan. Saul's business is managed by his daughter named Lorraine. After discussing with her father, Lorraine agrees to give Abel a loan. However, she puts a condition to hold shares in Abel's new company. Eventually, Abel agrees, but the loan is still not enough to cover his purchase. That night, all the oil competitors gathered at an Italian restaurant. Abel informs them that 110,000 gallons of fuel have been stolen from his company. Further, he suspects that one of his competitors may have hired the hijackers for this crime. However, none of them takes responsibility, and Abel leaves the place. After the meeting, when Abel comes home, he informs Anna that he has 3 more days. He also tells her that Mr. Saul agrees to give him a loan, but it's not enough. After that, Abel asks Anna how their daughters are doing, and she assures him that they are fine. The next day, another hijack is reported, and Abel happens to see the truck involved. He starts following it and nearly collides with the truck near an abandoned tunnel. However, Abel manages to catch one of the drivers and asks who hired him. At last, the hijacker claims that he wasn't hired by anyone and that he sells the stolen oil in Far Rockaway. The information gives Abel a clue, and he confronts Arnold, who operates facilities in Far Rockaway. Abel threatens to report Arnold to the authorities unless he pays $213,000 for the stolen oil. Thus Arnold agrees to pay, but Abel still needs $600,000 to finalize the deal. So, Abel goes to his other competitor, Peter, seeking help. Peter offers a loan but with strict terms, and Abel takes some time to think about the offer. "Hey Peter, just give the loan to this hottest daddy in town, I assure you he will return coughing." As night falls, Abel returns home and shares Peter's offer with Anna. In response, Anna reveals her secret account and suggests using that money. Shocked, Abel asks her where she got that money, and she confesses that she has been skimming money from the company for years. This revelation angers Abel, and he initially refuses to use the money. However, Anna convinces him, and eventually, Abel agrees to use her money instead of taking a loan from Peter. As the sun rises, Abel and Andrew meet with Mr. Joseph and make the full payment for the terminal property. Later, Abel accompanies Anna to visit the place he bought. Suddenly, Julian arrives with a gun in his hand, looking extremely depressed and hopeless. Abel tries to calm him down, but Julian doesn't listen and requests Abel to take care of his family. Tragically, he shoots himself, and Abel can only watch in shock. In the next scene, Lawrence comes to meet Abel. During their conversation, Abel asks Lawrence to wrap up his investigation against his company sooner because it's seriously harming the company's reputation. Eventually, Lawrence agrees and mentions that Abel's new deal will certainly help develop his business. However, Abel tells Lawrence that no matter what happens, he has always chosen the path that is most right. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.